spend y'all money and stop playing. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I actually want to go over a few sales that I've had over $25 so far for the month of July. Now, it's not that good. In my June recap video, I talked about how great June ended up being, and this month is just like night and day. The beginning of this month was great, and out of nowhere it just kind of tapered off, and I was just like, whoa, I was not expecting this. However, it is what it is. We just got to keep pushing forward. So I do want to go over a few sales that sold for over $25 and just kind of talk about them and just let you guys know what's going on for the month of July. All right, so first we're gonna talk about some Poshmark sales. The first one is actually from a brand called Wearables, which is a subline of XCVI. I always kind of fuck that up. These are just like some lag and look, you know, trouser pull-on pants. I was actually really happy to find these because what ended up happening was I watched a video right before I left, and they talked about this brand being a sub brand of XCVI. So when I saw it, new tags, I was like, oh hell yeah. And they looked really nice. They sold really quickly. I want to say within a week they sold, and I do think that they got a steal of a deal for that price point. This is a brand called 360 Cashmere. If I'm not mistaken, this actually transitioned into Skull Cashmere. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I got this from the bins a while ago, and it finally sold in the summer, which is weird. And I think it's because I initially listed it really high because I really wanted to get about $40 to $50 for it. But this style is just not desirable, let's be honest. The colorway is gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but this style just wasn't it. So it sat around until it finally sold on an offer for $26. So this is a Torrid jacket. I did pay up for this at a regular thrift store, which was the Salvation Army. I did pay 10 bucks for this, and it was new with tags, and that was the only reason why I really picked it up. And it was a size 5X. I actually really need to start picking up sizes that are like much larger because I do feel like they will sell better. I initially had this one listed at $65 when I first listed it because it was new with tags. And of course I had to end up relisting it about 2 times because every 60 days my Poshmark relists my items. So I did have this for a little while, but it eventually sold. These are a pair of 𝕃𝕃 low-rise jeans. I actually got these at a regular thrift store, and once I kind of came to terms like, why the fuck did you pick up low-rise jeans? But they actually sold pretty quickly. I think I had these listed at $42. They sent me a $34 offer. Yes, it's yours. So I do think it was a pretty good pickup now. And just to kind of touch on that, 𝕃𝕃 is just one of those brands that, yes, it's best to, like, you know, check comps, but I can tell you that it's not been one pair that I picked up that didn't sell. Like 100% sell-through rate. Yeah, some might sit past the 3-month mark, but they will sell within about 6 months at the very least. All right, this is a brand called Wood & Chip. This is actually a brand that I have on my like bread and butter, bolo, bucket, whatever you want to call it list. I love this brand. This one sells so quickly, and then it sells for a great price point. I think this is my 3rd time selling it, and it sells really well. I know I could have got a lot more for this, but $30 for a bins pickup is not bad. If you ever come across this brand, you'll be able to tell the same way you're able to tell Barefoot Dreams items, because this one is very lightweight. I mean, almost just really thin, very breathable. You'll just know, like, once you feel Wood & Chip's, you'll know when you feel it again. This is a brand called 𝕍𝕀𝔻. This is the first time that I picked this up. I've actually saw this brand quite a few times at the bins. I've always passed it up because I thought it was kind of like a brand like Shein or like one of those boutique brands that just isn't worth looking into. And I remember seeing somebody's YouTube video. That's why I don't really discredit people when they show their hauls and their what souls and stuff, because you do learn a lot. Now, yes, you have to use your own discernment. You have to, you know, double check and all of that. But for the most part, listen to people sometimes. I do enjoy looking at hauls and what solds for this very reason, because had I not watched those videos, I would have never picked this up, because the tag just looks cheap to me. So I picked it up. This actually sold the exact same day for full asking price. I really wanted to get about $40 for these, because generally most of Lululemon men's pants, they sell for, you know, $40 to $60. But since these were faded, I knew that I wasn't going to get as much as I wanted for them. And I probably could have held out, but at the end of the day, I have come to terms with the fact that if nobody is sending me like a low ball, a super aggressive low ball, like 50 or 40%, you know, off, I'll go back and forth with you. This is an Eileen Fisher top that I got at the bins. There was no size tag, so I had to really go off of measurements, and I don't know if that's what took it a while to sell, but it eventually sold, I want to say within about 2 months. And I did have it listed high initially, because I have really turned into that person that when I find like plus size items, of course I'll check comps and you know, the sell-through rate on what the item sold at. This is Adriano Goldschmied. This is the Everett. I actually just recently sold another pair last month that y'all probably saw in my June recap video. This brand, chef kiss. The men's do amazing, and I do believe this particular style is probably the popular one for men's denim jeans with the brand, and it is the Everett. They're just like a basic pair of denim jeans, like nothing too crazy. I believe I got this pair from the bins. These are a pair of Doc Martens. I actually got these from a regular thrift store, and I was really surprised to find them. They were in the kids section, so that is probably why they were still there. They looked very like kind of beat up just a little bit at the top, but then the bottom they look brand new. So these didn't take long to sell. I want to say maybe about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then they sold through an offer to watchers. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I probably paid $9 for them, so I think that's a pretty good sale. This was a brand that was from the early 2000s. I believe the brand is called Speed Control. This was a style pickup. I don't really care what the brand said. The tag could have been cut out. Didn't even care. This was giving very much so Y2K, cottagecore, fairy, all of the vibes. And that was the reason why I picked it up. I absolutely adored the tiered style to it. It was like a lace embroidery to it as well. It was a smocked bodice. It was just perfect, and I knew that it was going to sell. Honestly, I shoot kind of high for items like this that I'm just going off of style alone. And I had it at $32. I sent out, you know, the offers to watchers, and they accepted it at $26. So that made me really happy, because this particular item had over, I want to say either 30 or 40 watchers on eBay, and at the time when this one sold, it was listed at like $18 or $19 over there. So it was just like, why are y'all just sitting around like a bunch of sitting ducks? Like, spend y'all money and stop playing. But it ended up selling on Poshmark, so I was really happy about that. This is a North Face sweater. This is a brand that everybody pretty much counts out, which I was also that person. But when I saw it, I'm like, wow, this is in like excellent condition. It's kind of like a Patagonia better sweater. So like, why would I leave this behind? And thank God I didn't, because this one sold the exact same day through offers to watchers. I think I had it initially listed at $32. Poshmark sent them a $26 offer with discounted shipping. So this one sold quick as hell. Of course, I got it from the bins. So yeah, I would pick this style up. This is a Patagonia sweater. I was actually very surprised that this sold for that price point, because the embroidery to the side is very large. Yes, you can seam split it. I don't personally like to do anything with the items that I bring home. At best, I will wash it and stain treat it, but I'm not doing anything else. So this one sold for $30. I'm sure they're probably going to take it to a seamstress, and they're going to just take that shit out, and they got a great deal. The sweater was in excellent condition. This was also at the bins, and yeah, great pickup. All right, so we're gonna move on to Mercari. So these are a pair of new attack Judy blue pants. I had high really high hopes for these, and it really was sad to just kind of watch it decline the way it did. I don't think $44 is bad, don't get me wrong, but I definitely paid $10 for these at a regular thrift store. They were new at tag, so I thought that that was really going to get me at the very least about 60 bucks. These brand new are like, you know, $80, so I don't know. And they were size 16. It was just so much as to why these didn't sell for a lot. They got attention everywhere. Somebody shot their shot. I went on and accepted it because I just didn't want to sit on them too long, and you know, it's been really like slow, so I don't want to hold out too long. These are a pair of Prana pants. These are their Haley pants, which I think are the most popular for this brand. This style used to get me between $35 to $40, and now we are under $30, and I'm okay with it. I think I had it listed at $32 or $30, and they sent me a $27 offer. And honestly, thinking about it, when you list your items, I know that it's so much easier to just kind of be like, you know what, I want to list it at a buy it now price. People are still going to send offers if they can. That's why I switched it up on these platforms. So on eBay, I got my shit lowest of the low that I'm willing to go, because I turned off offers. But see, I can't do that on here, so I know next time to just kind of price it just a little bit higher. This is a Jams World set. I actually got this from a regular thrift store, and I went back and forth with myself during that trip just because I'm cheap as hell. Okay, I'm cheap as hell, and I picked up a Jams World dress, I want to say last year, and it sat until I want to say either last month or in May. So it took a while to get her out the door, and it only sold for $20. So I felt really like burned with that item and that brand. And this just goes to show, don't let one specific item, one specific style, one specific size throw you off from a brand, because had I left this behind, I would have made $76 from it. Okay, so I went on and just went with my gut. This is a 2-piece set, and it actually sold to somebody in Hawaii, and yeah, couldn't find anything like it, so I did list it really high at $95. Probably could have went a little bit higher, honestly, but I was pretty glad that I picked it up because it was a really good sale. Now this one did sit for like a good month before, you know, it finally sold, but I'm completely okay with that. This was a Ralph Lauren cashmere wool blend like cardigan. I actually got this from the bins, which I was really excited about. This was listed pretty high. I want to say at about 80 bucks. And then I eventually dropped it down, and somebody sent me a $55 offer, and of course I accepted it. Ralph Lauren has really turned into a brand that I enjoy picking up. Now, as of late, I have been really strategic with what I pick up from this brand, really strategic with the size that I pick up from this brand, because I noticed that I am having like a good, for the most part, 100% sell-through rate with the brand. So I just want to make sure that I stay on the right side of this brand and not just kind of get crazy and pick everything up because everything is selling for me. But this was just a nice little staple piece. All right, so we're going to move on to eBay now. Okay, so just to disclaim this, I had to run a sale on eBay this past weekend because sales were incredibly slow, and I was very worried. So I had to run a sale just to kind of zhuzh up some business. So a lot of these things sold for prices that I'm not too proud of, because you already know on eBay I like to mark my items at like a sweet spot. Like the price point is amazing. And when I have to send out offers on these already sweet ass deals, it hurts my feelings. So this person actually was just a little, just a teeny tiny bit annoying, because they kept asking me questions, and nothing is, don't get me wrong, nothing is wrong with asking questions, but they were between sizes, and they just kept saying, oh, you know, what's the material? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, when I photograph things and they're in the photographs or in the description, and people ask me questions that are already answered, have they used their eyes to see and to look and to read, it is a bit frustrating. So with this particular person, I was annoyed because the first question was like, well, what is the material? I go look at the photos. So before I even respond, I look at the photos to see, did I put it in the listing? Yes, it was photographed. So then they asked, was it stretchy? I'm like, okay, well, the material tag says that it's 2% spandex. So yes, it is stretchy. Well, I'm between a size 26 and a 27. And I go and I look at the size. I'm like, this is a fucking 27. So if you're a size 26, like, put a fucking belt on. But I digress. So that ends up happening. And then they asked me another question. Oh, they asked me, would I be able to ship it out on Monday or something like that? I'm like, of course. And then they said something else. And at that point, I was like a little annoyed. So I said, if it is not your size, please do not purchase it. I know. I could have lost it out on the sale. But at that point, it was just like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's measurements in here. Go get a pair of jeans that you can fit. Go and look at the material tag. Like, you need to put in a little work too. Don't just put everything off on me. So I was just like annoyed. So I sent her that. Next thing I know, I get a notification that it was purchased. And then that's when she was like, you know, could you please ship it out on Monday because I'm going out of town. What the fuck was that? I'm going out of town. And I'm like, of course. All right, so the next piece is a brand called Mother, which is one of my favorite denim brands. I do slowly, I mean real slowly, see it declining just a little bit. It is just not what it used to be. But yeah, it's okay. I knew that these were kind of not really like a newer vibe, as far as like how they did have a little bit of wash wear, like the black was a little faded. So I knew that I wasn't going to get more than $50 for these, but I was okay with that. So when I received the notification that it sold, of course, I told you I was having a 30% off sale, so they got a really good deal. All right, so the next one is this Boden dress. This is a brand that I enjoy picking up. I wish I would have found it at the bins, but that's okay. This was actually at a regular thrift store. I did check comps. The comps were great. I was looking to get between $30 to $40 for it. So I think I listed it at around like $38. But this was also on discount, and they purchased it at that price, which, you know, is totally fine. So it was a pretty quick flip. I think this sold within a week, if I'm not mistaken. These are a pair of 7 for All Mankind Dojo jeans. This is a little funny story. So a person purchased these on Poshmark for $80, full price, whatever. Of course, I was ecstatic because I'm like, ooh, $80. We'd love to see it. And then I noticed that the next day they was like, hey, I have the wrong address. Now, I do think that that is probably the best way to get an order canceled, is to say that it's the wrong address, because what can you do? Now, I'm not trying to give nobody no ideas, but when you say you got the wrong address, the seller feels heavily inclined to go ahead and, you know, not ship it because it's not the right address. Granted, if they ship same day, you'll be asked out, but whatever. Anyways, so they purchased it for $80 on Poshmark, and then they said it's the wrong address. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And I was kind of annoyed because, like I said, this month has been a little slow since the beginning of the month has started. So I'm like, okay. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of knew something was up, because I'm just kind of like, go ahead and cancel it. Next thing I know, they tell me if they were able to like change their address and I can just like do it that way. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just go ahead and cancel it, and then I'll just relist it and you can repurchase it after you change your address. They were like, okay. Next thing I know, I get a notification on eBay that an item sold. So of course I'm excited. I go look over. It's the damn Dojo jeans. And me being the detective that I am, I went and looked at the names, and it's the same person. So you thought you was slick. So what I did was, I went back to Poshmark and I was like, oh, somebody purchased the jeans. And I said, oh wait, it was you. And they never responded. Because you thought you had something. All right, and lastly, it is this Erin Crafts Grandpa Ireland wool chunky knit sweater. I got to the bins, and I typically go to the very first one when I walk in. I actually really need to start back doing that. And I found two Erin Crafts sweaters. Now, I was so excited because I'm like, wow, like y'all really picking over the shit. Y'all picking over the good stuff. Now, this was a size 2XL, so I was like, oh my God, even better. So I ended up, of course, you know, taking it. And I listed these at, I want to say $80 on all the platforms, $85. And then I think, of course, I listed a little bit lower. So I probably had this at like either $59, $99, I don't know. And, you know, 20% off. I sent them a 20% off offer. They purchased it, and I do think $52 from a $1, potentially $2 purchase. we love to see it. If you are not familiar, Erin Craft is a great brand to look out for. It sells amazingly. So yeah, that is all that I have for this little what sold video. Let me know down below how your sales are going so far in July. It's not looking too good, but you know what, we're gonna push through. We gotta do what we gotta do, and we still have to pivot and still work. I know that when sales are slow, you just want to be like, you know what, fuck it all, I'm not doing anything. However, who is that gonna help? Not your business. Okay, so get your ass back into your office and list some items. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. 𝕁𝕁